Here we are by the Stonebond development for 54 affordable homes, where after a few days with not a huge amount of rainfall, this is one of the worst flooded areas on the Meads. If you look over at the rest of the Meads, you'll see that there's not actually that much flooding because this is a very mild flood, but maybe 5 million cubic metres or something. But we've seen 20 million cubic metre flooding. Like 2009 was a pretty bad year. Year 2000 was a pretty bad year. But we've seen nothing like the really bad floods we saw in the 50s, like 1950, 51. There was some terrible flooding. We've seen nothing like that in decades. Yeah, even with really mild flooding, we've got a lake by this development. And the Stonebond development, you see this hedge here. The hedge isn't the boundary of the plot. The development continues over the hedge. So the hedge will be completely removed by this development. And some of the houses will be built over the top of it. Right, so this area you're looking at here is where the suds is going to be put for this development. Now the suds, the purpose of this is to store any of the runoff water from the development to prevent it increasing the flood risk. But as you can see, this area is currently underwater, and that's with a really mild flood. There's probably about a foot of water at the minute, and this is maybe 5 million cubic metres. So if you get a big flood with 15, 20 million cubic metres, the water level is going to be much higher. It completely covers all of this sud system, which then is going to hold water back inside the bund, inside the development. And initially you've got the problem of there's not just fluvial flooding that affects this corner of the Meads. There's surface water flooding as well. So every time it rains, water runs down off of the road by Chelmer Village and runs down onto the site. So if you've got the Meads is flooded, and this development has got a bund surrounding it with one-way valves which are supposed to open when there's water inside and not outside. But if the Meads is flooded and there's water in front of these one-way valves, those valves aren't going to operate. So any water that comes down, the surface water from above, will just fill the development up like a bathtub. This is an insane place to build, and it shouldn't be allowed. Welcome to Stonebond.